You know, long have gone the days of us seeing original movies, of us seeing the stars we know today start off as young tykes. We don't get to see the fresh faces anymore, and it be a quality film. But with this movie, I didn't really know what to expect. I had low expectations, but I was shocked that they kept me in the game like EA. You know, a new version of Super Bad mixed with a little bit of Project X with some, good cameras. I'd say this movie, I'd say this movie might have done a trick. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the DeAndre Way. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe per usual. You know the deal. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, and I am so appreciative of all y'all that have been coming through for your mans. And today, we finished. We are going to review the movie The Incoming. It just came out on Netflix a couple days ago. I didn't really know what The Incoming was supposed to mean. Am I incoming to a great episode or a episode of a movie, episode of a beginning of a maybe a trilogy, the incoming of something good, the incoming of something bad. I didn't know what the incoming anything was about, but I definitely kind of put my own perspective on the title. But yes, the incoming. And y'all, like I said, it was surprisingly good. I'm gonna just be quite frank. This movie was good. Netflix, most of the movies that be coming out on Netflix are to be left much to be left desired. But this movie, it kept me laughing, it kept me interested, multiple storylines, not overly focusing on the main character, but also the characters actually doing a good job in carrying themselves in this ensemble cast. I love ensemble movies to where you can kind of pick your fighter. You can pick the person who you really want to kind of really be invested in their storyline and kind of see yourself in someone's shoes. Because a lot of times we get movies to where it's just surrounded one person and everything revolves this one antagonist or protagonist, should I say. But this movie had several of them. It had several antagonists. It had several side characters. It had some subplots, and we gonna get into it. This movie, The Incoming, was directed and written by Dave Sherman and John Sherman, two brothers, and they said that this. They wrote that they wanted to go to a house party growing. I believe it's because they wanted to go to a house party growing up, and they wrote this movie basically about four freshmen that navigate the terrors of adolescence at their first ever high school party. Okay, we've all been to parties. Now look, I ain't been to no. I did not go to a party like this. I definitely missed out on this kind of party. We wasn't doing all these things in high school. I mean, people was drinking, but people wasn't like doing all these experimentations at the parties, at least maybe undercover. And yes, it's very over exaggerated, very Project X esque without the car in the pool. We just got an adult in the pool getting electrocuted and all that jazz. But we do have some car mistreatment in the girl getting diarrhea all over the car and whatnot. So there's a theme to these party movies is don't, if you live around some teenagers or have a teenager, don't hide the car, hide the keys, hide everything, and hide your wife too. But this movie stars, well, I'll just go through the list real quick. We got Mason Thames playing Benj, Isabella Ferreira playing Bailey, Raphael Alejandro playing Connor, Loren Gray playing Katerina, Thomas Barbusca playing Thomas Barbusca playing, I can't find his character's name, but we'll get back to it. He's the bully. um, we'll come back to you, Thomas. Ramon Reed playing Eddie. Ali Gallo playing Alyssa, Caitlin Olsen playing Miss Nielsen, Bobby Cannavale playing the teacher. I'll come back to his name as well. Victoria Morales playing Gabrielle, and Bardia Seiri playing Kush. That's all the main cast. We have many, many more, but yeah, none of these people that I know or have heard of. Not a single one. And I was very happy and pleasantly surprised by that. I enjoy seeing brand new people getting put in the spotlight, getting their chance to shine. And I've seen that it works very well because everyone wants to, hold their own. They're going to give their A plus plus performance. It's not just going to be another movie we doing. And I love that. So basically, we going to get started with, we're going to break it down real quick. So this movie, The Incoming, starts out with Benj making at the beginning of the movie. It got me immediately because Benj, you see him making out with the mirror and trying to, see what he gonna do when he gets his time to shine, when it's his chance to make a prance, when it's the moment to, get his glowment, if you know what I mean. But yes, that was hilarious. Then sister opens the door and bang in his face. And I like Benj's character. Benj is the typical protagonist, kind of baby faced hero. We want to see this guy do well. He doesn't. And the thing is, like, usually these kind of characters I hate. I am not a fan because they just drive sympathy cards towards them. Well, he didn't. He actually seems like a real, like, character, not just some sympathetic figure. I felt good for him sometimes. I felt bad for him sometimes. I felt multiple things rather than just kind of one stagnant emotion is like, oh, I want you to win. I wanted him to win. I wanted him to lose. I wanted to do all these things. And if that being said with a character, that means that they're actually a good one because you can kind of ride that roller coaster wave with them throughout the film. So I did like Benj a lot. At first, I was skeptical. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was skeptical. I was like, I ain't gonna like this dude, but I eventually did, and the actor did a good job. This though we get the typical snippy snobby girl sister character. This is one of the few characters I was not very fond of. I feel like she was. I've seen this character a million times, a million zillion trillion times. We get the sister, the older sister that's snobby, that's melodramatic, that's sarcastic, all these things that tries to be witty as well. And it's just like I'm tired of the character, y'all. Like when we rarely actually do we get like the super sweet, nice sister who is there for her sibling, brother, sister, whatever. It's always got to be the snobby, snippy, mean girl, or who's just in her feelings and moods all the time. And that's what she is this whole movie. Her character is like flat lines throughout the movie with her emotions. At the end, she has a slight spike, but then it just flat lines again at the very end. So, not the biggest fan of this girl's character. So we could nip that and switch it, or maybe switch it up a little bit. And then we get the typical happy-go-lucky mom to where her kids can say whatever they want around her. And for the time being, now I was caught off guard by the mom as well because I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna let my kids run amok, but I'm just happy they're kids and just not be a parent. Oh, she turned into a parent, all right. She definitely turned into a parent. And then we meet our pothead friend. What is his name? His character's name. His character's name is. I'm gonna get it in 1 second. Thomas plays. Who does he play? He plays the bully, Ruby. That's his name. I did not know that was. I forgot that was his name. He plays Ruby. Now Ruby's this bully with braces. He's a senior in high school, or not senior, just sophomore or junior. We didn't get the specified high school age. Who's basically the local drug dealer, high school student, scamming people, you know. And he actually, I wasn't. The thing is, a lot of these characters, I was going like, oh, I've seen this before. Oh, I've seen this before. But they switched it up on me. And with him, I was just like, okay, the typical bully who's just gonna run amok. But he actually had a lot of comedic relief in him. He wasn't just what I was initially thinking is the whole "shut up, dweeb," "shut up, loser," that kind of thing, that kind of character that you've seen before, you know. And I was just like, here we go. But he actually had a lot of comedic moments. He actually seemed vulnerable, and he was vulnerable at a point in the movie. And so I got to see levels with him as well. So funny dude. He had a lot of good scenes and whatnot. And then we get our brother. We get our brother. What is his name? I'm sorry, y'all. I keep meaning to pull up these people. Ramon, who is playing the friend Eddie. Now I like Eddie a lot. Eddie, his character arc starts like this and then goes just up. It just goes up because we really get to see development. That's why this movie is good, y'all. We see development in more people than just the main character. That is very rare when it comes to these movies. And so each kid in the group, so we got Benj, Connor, Eddie, and Koosh. Well, baby Koosh. They all have their own distinct personalities. They each stand out in their own right, and none of their characters get thrown under the rug. And it seems like they have good chemistry and they play well off each other. I think, especially Connor and Eddie. And then we see the girl, popular girl in school who has half a million followers. Um, Katarina. She doing her little TikToks and whatnot. And so then I guess some good moments in the film was the drug deal scene when he's scamming the dudes at the skate park out the drugs. I think that was very, very well done. This is one thing I did have to say. I was just confused about. I thought this movie was going to take a left turn for the worst. I just didn't know. I didn't read anything before I watched it. I just went into it. The teacher. Um, the teacher whose name is slipping me. His name in the movie is Mr. Studebaker. Mr. Studebaker. I thought this dude was gonna get arrested the whole movie. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I thought this dude was a little bit of a creep. I don't know why they included this teacher in all. I mean, look, he added some comedic relief to an extent, but the whole time in this movie when I was watching this dude, I kept thinking he was gonna do something that I would dare hope not to see in a movie like this. Hanging out with all these kids, these children. I thought he was at the party for other alternative reasons rather than just to have a good time, making me nervous. I was just like, please don't do this, man. Please don't do this. Very weird though that this teacher. I really wish we kind of got a backstory behind why he's hanging out with these kids, why he's trying to be the cool teacher, but it just didn't really make sense about why he was at this party. Does he not have like a home, maybe a wife, a kids, friends of his own age, anything? I just didn't understand it. He was just there to have a good time. I thought he was maybe going to be monitoring it, but because he got caught at this party and this party got busted, he's going to jail. Period. So they tried to make him like the cool teacher and I'm cool with the kids. It was just kind of weird to me the whole movie. He just kind of just popped up and was just like, why would the kids be cool with having a teacher there? That just didn't make sense to me. There's a quote in this movie that says, "Who you are in high school is who you'll be forever." That gave me a good chuckle. Um, yeah, high school is a crazy place. It's a very tough place. We're all learning ourselves. We don't even know who we are. We're around a bunch of new people. And this film depicted that pretty well. All the You have to look at this movie, I'd say, one of these high school movies at a lens through the high schooler. About put yourself back in the first day of high school. We're all self-conscious. We all have these thoughts like, oh, everyone's watching us all the time. All these eyes are on us, but really it's all in our heads. And I could see myself in each one of these characters when it comes to Benj being nervous and wanting to have some decent reputation and not be a clown. And he wants this girl. Can relate to, but what's his name? Eddie, to where he doesn't want to get in trouble and he's just trying to chill and do his own thing. And he's being peer pressured to do other things. Being similar to Little Koosh, who just wants to be popular and get out of his older brother's shadow and wants to be known for who he is. So everyone has their own thing that I think some people can relate to, which was really good. Because a lot of times I watch these movies, I'm like, I can't relate a lick. Because they just seem inauthentic. Very inauthentic. I mean, even the drunk girl who was throwing up in the car. I mean, I ain't do that in high school, but we've all had those nights and those moments, whether they be in high school or college, to where we get a little too lit and some stuff start going down. And so we all can relate. And so that's the biggest thing I liked about the movie. And I thought the quote was funny. The TikTok segments with the Koosh brother was a little goofy to me. They could have cut that. I thought the quote that said, I can't remember who said, oh, when Little Koosh said to his friends, this party is going to have enough pussy without you pussies. That was a good line. They had a lot of good one-liners in this movie. Definitely one that I wish I would have known back in the day. Yes, Eddie, and we see as a stand-up brother who, does not want to be at the party and does not really care about all that extra business. Hey, they made the brother a shining light and figure and a good role model. I like that. We see Eddie's mom's boyfriend who is going with his mom. He's okay. I didn't mind the dude. We didn't get to see a bunch of him, but he had his moments, and he was just an interesting character. He seemed like a WWE kind of character, and so very funny dude who implemented himself in his own way. Like I said, the teacher at the party, weird, very very weird, and so we get Eddie and Connor. They had me dying in the car when they was pulling up to Teenage Dream and they had the ice cream and then the cops pulled up. That scene is gold. That scene is gold. Them two just have really good chemistry going on together. I'm giving this movie a lot of praise, y'all. I liked it. And I feel like if you didn't like this movie, then you just kind of are stuck in an adult lens if you're an adult watching this movie, or you're just hating because all the other movies I've been watching lately just it's been tough. Um, we get the throw up scene. It's not bad. Oh, in this part of the movie when Benj is looking through he's getting the directions told by him through Koosh, baby Koosh, and he opens the door and we got the two dudes getting it on and popping. Y'all, I will tell you this. I was not expecting that. That caught me off guard like hell. I was dead rolling on the ground. He's like, shut the door, man. Oh my gosh. What kind of party? Um, but yes, that was they caught me off guard with quite a few things in this movie, and I love it. The teacher trying to lead the party with the science experiments or run the party with the science experiments, kind of, like I said, I'm not really a fan of that character. The girl said I need to get Taco Bell. She murdering the tacos. Girl did a good job with the Taco Bell. Now don't eat Taco Bell if you drinking. 101 rule of partying: do not give it some hours after. Some hours. It's a good food to kind of get things settled, but take your time. Only two tacos maximum, please, because they put some stuff in there that's just gonna upchuck everything or make it come out the other end. But yes, they tried to make this party kind of like Project X with them kids doing a million things, and they had this other brother in the movie who was the instigator, as I like to call. I don't see his face on this list. I don't really know. I can't find the name. I'm not going to take too much time to look it up. But the brother that was, the pothead, and he was basically trying to get Banj caught up, and then he gets him doing all the drugs and whatnot, the ketamine per se. He had me rolling. I wasn't a huge fan of his at first, so I was like, I don't really know his character. But then he got he's just a schemer. He's a finesser. He's a troublemaker. Definitely had me dying when he in his like few scenes, and he stole the show with the scenes, I think. But you definitely he grew on me. He grew on me. And yeah, the boys taking care of Katarina this whole night and whatnot with the fire station and leaving out, and then finally and then the whole scene where they clean her off with the water hose and do all that. The classic. That is just it's just funny, quirky, somewhat campy ideas and scenarios that just happen, and I liked it, because it's a variety. It's very it switches things up, and you get to see just boom, 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 boom. I mean, like, I kept wanting to go back to like, oh, what's going on with them? Oh, what's going on with them? Oh, what's going on with them? And it kept me going. And soon, yes, the party's dwindling down, and the boys get Katarina back to their house, and the teacher finally goes home. Finally, I was ready for that to be over, and the kid, they had the fight go down. The fight scene was funny. It was a little like interesting. I mean, they were like hate each other, then they liked each other, and then they're best friends. Like, kind of just awkward. Like, just y'all best friends now. Um, and then the kid, Koosh, breaking his shoulder in the bathroom with the girl. I forgot all about that. He brought the girl up in there and tried to serenade her and get it cracking. I can't really relate to all that, but yeah, he had his own little thing. He was a little awkward. He was the one where it's like it took him some time to grow on me, just because he's that character that you have to. They don't want you to like him, but he brings his own little thing. I think he worked well with the scenes that he was given, and his little side mission and side quest definitely had me rolling. But very interesting, just kind of creepy in that sense. I was just like, the thing about the movie is I was expecting something crazy to happen that was gonna be like cancelable, like the teacher at the party, he was gonna do something, or Koosh, the younger Koosh, doing something to that girl, giving her something, and maybe something going down. I was expecting these things, but none of those crazy things happen, which is kind of like refreshing because it kind of keeps the movie pure to a sense, even though they're doing all these other things, drugs, alcohol, etc. It kept it light and flavorful rather than going down a dark path, left, turning real left at the intersection. But yes, party's over. We see the mom again. She's going off on Benj and his sister, and that's when I was like, "Oh, okay. So you're not just gonna let him off the hook." I thought she was gonna wait. They were gonna wake up and she's like, "Oh, like guys, I'm so upset at you." Blah 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 blah. And they're like, "Whatever, mom," and then walk out on her. Nah, she threw it down. She threw it down. And we get Eddie to stand up for himself, and this is his character arc hitting the top, like I said, in changing his old perspective on being passive and starting being aggressive and standing up for himself, which is great because we don't ever get to see that kind of motion from the side uh, supporting characters. We only get to see that from the main characters. They get this whole arc development. So yeah, I was definitely loving that, even though he's probably a main character. He is a main character, main supporting. He was not Benj, and Benj is the one that kind of revolved around with him and the love interest with the girl. Um, this quote I have: "From now on, put some respect on my name." And then he snatched the sandwich. Eddie. That car scene was good. But yes, Connor and Eddie soon get invited by Katarina to the cool kids table, and they make some new friends. Networking. They're networking. I like that. And this last scene was cringe. So when Ben started singing "Signed, Sealed, and Delivered," look, it was cool till that part. I was on board, but that was the whitest version of "Signed, Sealed, Delivered" I've ever heard in my life. I think they could have made another song choice. Maybe you could sing "Mr. Brightside" or something that's more within your key or archetype or whatnot and whatnot. But that was just awkward. And then she, kind of did him dirty at the end, but she was just getting him even by rejecting his proposal. But she only did that because she saw him doing the ketamine. And but yeah, the song could have they could have skipped that part. And that was a little hard to watch. It was a little awkward and cringe. Um, and then the black kid being the instigator as he is and turning everybody up against him and whatnot. But but they eventually, she winked at him and he knew everything was cool. And that's the end of the movie. So this movie, The Incoming, it definitely sparked a lot of memories for me. Just thinking back in high school and whatnot and parties, even though I was not at parties like this. And everyone's kind of figuring themselves out and figuring out who they are, whether it comes to Koosh, whether it comes to Benj, whether it comes to Eddie, Connor, Katarina, etc. And so everyone has, even the sister, I mean, she had the nose job, which is crazy in high school, and she had to have a reality check with her ex, and then kind of realizing like, why did I even change myself for this? So she even had a character change. I think everyone did. I don't even, maybe not the teacher, maybe don't go to the parties anymore. But yes, I do think this movie was quality. Not that it's not super serious. It's not it's not an Academy Award film. It's not gonna win any major awards, but I definitely think it wins a quality award for being a good watch and keeping you interested. And so with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna give this movie an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. I would watch it again. I would. All the things I said already, but finishing it off, just a nice break from the norm of trying to make these movies stereotypical. This was high school stereotypical, but the whole story was original. That's the biggest thing. And then the actors did a great job. The the supporting cast, the ensemble, the whole cast carried each other very well. And I think this movie is something that everybody can watch and enjoy. I think it is. This is a movie literally for everybody because everybody has pretty much been to high school unless you dropped out of like middle school. And with that, I mean, they played it right. They played it good. And they kept it. They I just think it's for everybody. I just think it's for everybody. So if you ain't seen this movie, The Incoming, check it out, y'all. It's definitely worth the watch. And that's it. So y'all, I appreciate y'all for joining me at the DeAndre Way once again. Let me know your thoughts on the movie. Did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? Did you think it could have been better? Am I overrating the movie? Or am I even underrating the movie? Was it at 9? You know, it wasn't a 10. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, y'all, appreciate you for joining me. Peace, blessings, and as always, have a great rest